In that video, I was talking about how Harry and Prince William are further divided thanks to a Netflix move. Prince William reportedly is sickened by the portrayal of their late mother Diana in the new season of The Crown, which features the ghost of the princess. He's never publicly said anything about the Netflix series, but he has been critical of the use of his mother's memory in the past. Unfortunately, Harry, on the other hand, seems not so bothered by the portrayal of his family in the series. Harry and Meghan have a deal with Netflix, which has caused tension between the brothers. It's not clear whether or not Harry's stance on the series is influenced by his financial relationship with Netflix, but we're assuming it is. There are also reports that Netflix is probably not going to renew Meghan and Harry's contract thanks to lackluster performance. Harry and Meghan have produced only one successful series for Netflix. Their Netflix deal has added another wedge to the already strained relationship between Prince Harry and Prince William. And there are many comments that we gotta talk about, so let's get to it. The first comment I need to share comes to us from Karen Shields. Hello, Karen. Karen says, Harry is a grave robber. First, he danced on Diana's grave and then his grandparents'. Now he's clawing through the lead-lined coffin to exploit Diana's remains. This is beyond sick. I hope Henry never finds peace in any corner of any country of the world for the rest of his days. May he walk alone and miserable. He doesn't deserve pity. Whew, some pretty harsh words from Karen, but honestly, I understand where you are coming from. The way Harry has disrespected his mother's memory is absolutely abhorrent, and I agree with you, he does not deserve our pity. And then Peggy says, Harry, let your only mother rest, grifters. He really should, but they're not going to because they still think they can make more money off her memory. Absolutely disgusting. And then Mildred says, Harry ought to be ashamed of himself using his mother for money. He ought to be ashamed of a lot, but I don't think he is. And Aquarius, hello Aquarius, it seems to me that Harry doesn't give a toss about anyone but himself. My heart goes out to William in all of this. Don't know how he can be so hateful. There will be a day of judgment for the Harkles. Oh, there will be. In fact, I think it's already happening. And then Kim agrees, and Sue says, eventually Judgment Day is coming for the Harkles. Yes, absolutely. Jennifer says, roll on. And then Aquarius again, for goodness sake, let Diana rest in peace, instead of making money out of the tragedy that took her life. Poor William. I also feel really bad for William in all of this. I can't imagine how painful it is to see what his own brother is doing to their mother's memory. And we have a response from Eva, well, you know, her a-hole second son doesn't mind as long as there is a payoff. Thank God he was born second. Prince William is the future king. Harry dwells in the past and cannot move on without his handler. And then Lila says, it's the last season. William will be relieved it's over. I'm sure he will. But before it's over, it's going to be very painful what he's going to have to go through. And then Colleen says, Netflix is a joke. They certainly are, and I guess that's why they have Meghan and Harry on their payroll. And then 1964 says, I'm not surprised Prince William is sickened. He has every reason to. When Prince William came out and said that interview should never be heard of again. Now Harry has gone lower than ever. What I think of Harry, I don't think is printable. There is just no consideration for Prince William. I'm glad Prince William has a great wife in Catherine. He's going to need her more than ever. Why is there even a reason to do that? They have passed. Why the need to bring them back as ghosts is absolute rubbish. Suppose Netflix don't really care as long as they get their viewers. That's absolutely what is going on here. Netflix does not care. As a company, they are completely immoral. They just care about making money. And then I'm a Hick says it's going to get uglier as the money dries up. That's what I'm afraid of too. Terry says, I canceled my Netflix subscription when they hired Harry and Meghan. I think most of us did. Elephant says, Has-Been needs to realize that nobody appreciates what he's doing with Diana's death. He should be thoroughly ashamed of selling his mother for profit. Let's hope he gets his just desserts. I have no time for him and hope it all comes down around him. He deserves it. He certainly does deserve to have this house of cards collapse all around him and Meghan. And then Roland says, that is not acceptable at all. Harry knows better than this. What a lowlife. He is a lowlife, and you're right, he was raised better than this, but it looks like he doesn't care. He doesn't care about hurting his family, he just cares about making Meghan happy. And then Mai Tai says, as long as the treacherous duo are taking money from Netflix, they don't care who they exploit. At the rate Henry is going, William will never forgive him. Honestly, I don't think he will. I mean, I think William is much stronger than Harry, but I think he also has a temper on him. And I don't think it's going to be easy for Harry to ever be forgiven for everything he's done. And then Kim says that would be great. Christine, I don't think he ever will forgive Harry after protecting him and covering his back for years. I'm not suggesting that William's life is perfect, but at least he's trying to fulfill his royal obligations with humor and compassion, not rent-a-royal like his ghastly brother. Christine, your comment is spot on, thank you. And then Sue says, very true, and then Tracy, it's already understandably at that point. And next comment comes from Dolores. He is taking on Meghan's criminal practices of blackmail. They need to go to prison. Meghan and Harry can't stand it, the royal family doing well without them. The IRS should put them in jail for tax evasion, blackmail, child abuse, theft, etc. You're right, Dolores. At this point, they have committed so many crimes, and these are only the ones that we know about. And then Helen says, I wish someone would interview Harry and ask him the question, how do you feel about exploiting your mother's memory and crown? I do wonder what his response would be. I guess he would say, but wait a minute, Meghan and I are the victims. Did you forget? And then, Sweta, somebody should shut Harry and Meghan's mouth. They are boring. I couldn't even see season 5 as they made Diana look petty, I'm sorry. I wouldn't want to see season 6 of The Crown. They are just an entertaining series. It's true, and there are too many people out there who take The Crown as fact. It's not fact. It is a fictional series, and if you ask me, Netflix should make more of an effort to market it as such. I think Netflix just encourages people to believe that The Crown is based completely on fact, and that's not true. Next, we have another comment from Helen. I thought that Harry loved his mother. Evidently not if he's going to exploit his mother's memory in this movie. Poor William. My heart goes out to him. If the royal family is looking for the last straw, this is it. Honestly, I think the last straw came a long time ago for Harry. And then Janie says, William must be livid with his brother. Diana, a ghost? How absolutely disgusting. We are praying for you and your family, William. And William has every right to be livid. I mean, cheapening his mother's memory in that way. They should all be ashamed. And a message from Shogun. Harry must be getting near to a visit from some special boys that will end his problem as he goes beyond his family and start to threaten and upset the wrong people. After everything Harry has done, honestly, I'd say he deserves it. And then Nanny says, honor? Harry has no honor. Brainwashed to the nth degree, he has the nerve to mention honor? Well, Harry is so completely lacking in self-awareness. He believes that he is honorable. And then Helen, I think Harry is very happy with his life. He has become evil like his wife, and I don't care what anyone says. I think he's still in love with Meghan. You could be right. They are putting on a big show as if they're in love. Is it real? I kind of don't think so, but maybe it is. The next comment is from Philly. The entire world is just one plane crash away from never having to hear about either of these grifters and liars again. I like what you did there. We are only one plane crash away, aren't we? And then Tiny says, Harry has hit the ultimate low, using his mother's death to make money line his and Meghan's pockets. Pure exploitation of a very well-respected Princess of Wales. He should be so ashamed of what he's doing. What would Diana have to say or think? I personally think that her life was riddled with tragedy, as her young death. Her books and interviews laid bare her anger and hurt with Charles. Now her son, Harry, is doing even worse, dragging her life and sickeningly playing up a real fantasy of a death in the car crash. Harry, what your father did was not nice to his new wife, but you are many times worse for sensationalizing her life and death, and you were an extremely young child. What would you know or remember of all this? How could you, and fill your wallet with blood money? So many cringe with disgust, but I feel more for that young woman who was your mother. Thank you for this very insightful comment, Tiny. I mean, Harry should feel ashamed, but we know he doesn't. I also really appreciated the way that you described Diana, because at the end of the day, she really was just that. She was a young mother. She was doing her best. Yes, she was hurt by Charles, but she was trying to move on. And I completely agree with you that what Harry is doing now is so much worse than what Charles or Camilla or anybody else did when Diana was still living. And then Nanny of Minnie says, Harry loved his mama so much he drags her name through the mud. What an ingrate her baby boy turned into. Makes me wish he'd just go forth and multiply. Oh, I forgot, he cannot sire a child. Drug damage. Yeah, I don't believe he can sire a child either. I don't care what they say about those invisible children. I don't believe they're real. And then Corky Love, it was put out at one time that Harry had a polo accident and now shoots blanks. Yeah, I mean, there's that. And what about the frozen Todger story? I would think that would have damaged him. But anyway, Nanny says, there we are then, lol. I think it's probably true. Harry cannot sire a child. Meghan had a hysterectomy, so there is no way those two children belong to them. And then Catherine, hello, Catherine says, all Harry does is abuse his mother's memory and legacy. It makes me sick that he does it. I feel sorry for Prince William because he has to witness his brother's antics. Harry has learned well about blackmail. Hey, Harry, blackmail is a felony from his vile wife. I wonder if he is wondering if he thinks King Charles will strip him of his dukedom, which means his invisible son won't inherit the dukedom. Because of the tax evasion with their so-called charity Archewell, stealing from the royal family and from Archewell, plus the blackmail, it should land them into prison for a long time. It should, Catherine, you're absolutely right, but I suspect neither of them will ever have to answer for their crimes. I mean, there are way too many people who get off scot-free just because they've got money. Next comment comes from Cyric. The maggot and the spare have rinsed his family, so if the pair are struggling to come up with anything, why don't Netflix insist on doing a life story of the maggot, leaving nothing out, all her dirty secrets she tries so desperately to hide? She's not shy on dishing the dirt on everyone else. Now that is a series I would absolutely watch. If Netflix really wants to recoup what they lost on the gruesome twosome, they need to make a movie about Meghan or a show and expose all her dirty secrets. I think that would get the viewing numbers they want. And then Claire says, how the mighty have fallen. Fallen indeed, and I don't think they're getting back up. Baby GT, Crybaby keeps saying he wants back in, but he still will not stop bad-mouthing his brother. Prince William, what is wrong with that little boy Crybaby? Prince William doesn't know. I mean, come on. I'm sure he looks at Harry and he thinks to himself, are we really related? How could we be? And then Rita, I wonder if they will include the bit where Harry declined speaking to his mother in favor of playing a game, allegedly, and she then had the fatal accident. They probably will, because the thing is, Netflix doesn't care about Harry either. I know they pay him to be a content creator or whatever, but at the end of the day, no, they care about their own pockets. They don't care about Harry. And then George says, is there any way you can sue? If I was William, sue them all. Love you, Prince William. I bet they've considered it. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if behind the scenes William is talking to some lawyers. And then a comment from Kathleen, Harry is a real sicko. Well, that's an understatement. Sarah says, Harry claims to have so much love for his mother, and yet he has no problem exploiting his mother so he can stay lazy. Is this way those fake kids can exploit him later in life? Harry will not change. Even fictional Forrest Gump has more sympathy for people than foolish Ginger. Why can't Netflix see that the sun has gone down on these two disgusting, despicable duo? Seriously. Well, see, I think Netflix now can't get out of this mess. The contract has been signed. They're in the middle of it, basically. I'm sure Netflix wants to cut them off, and eventually I think they will, but I guess they gotta try to make some money off them first. And then Phineas says, I imagine William's heart is broken over this. Harry couldn't give a fig about Diana's memory unless he's making a buck out of it. Very true. Summer Savage, hello. Summer says, making Diana a ghost is truly despicable. That makes what has so far been a fantastic show a complete joke in the final season. And the casting of William and Harry is god-awful. Harry being a Netflix employee is a disturbing coincidence. Isn't it disturbing, though? I mean, when you really think about it, like, Diana must be rolling over in her grave. And next comment comes from Christina. Paula M. just showed the picture of this, so why is American Taxes paying for their security? I'm not really sure what you're referring to, Christina, so please let me know in the comment section exactly what you're talking about. And Americans definitely shouldn't be paying for their security. If that's going on, I think most people want to have a word with our government. And then Sassy Cat says, I've never watched that Crown garbage, and of course, Hazardous won't speak out because Netflix are the only platform giving them the time of day. Their chickens are going to come home to roost, though, because with the Crown ending, Netflix are looking for another family to exploit and ridicule, and no prizes for guessing who that family could be. And you know, they're going to be done with Harry soon. I mean, after they've squeezed everything out of him that they can possibly squeeze out, they're going to throw him away. Susan says this is disgraceful and shouldn't be allowed. Well, unfortunately, it looks like anything goes when it comes to Netflix. Patsy says, OMG, his eyes look so evil. Don't they, though? Way too close set. And then Teresa says it's all about money. Well, yes, that is absolutely right. Jennifer says our royalty are having a hard time with all this Netflix crap. If they want to make up fairy stories about people, do it about your American presidents. God knows that would make a juicy story. Just leave our monarchy alone. Honestly, Jennifer, even though I am an American, I completely agree with you. I mean, some of our past presidents, they had some pretty juicy stuff going on in their lives, and it would make a lot more sense to go after them because at this point, who really cares? The royal family, though, I mean, they're still around. It's wrong of them to make this show about a family who can watch it. And then Sue says, don't the Americans know that they are paying for Henry and Handler's security? It's about time their government was called out about paying for Henry. He's no longer a royal or is part of the royal family. So is he still using his diplomatic passport to get their security paid for? Honestly, I hope not. I mean, if this is really going on, we have got to expose it. That is wrong. And Sue says Harry gets angry about most everything, but doesn't have an issue with Netflix and The Crown. It's fiction, just like his own book. Meghan might be jealous and upset that Diana's ghost is shown speaking to Charles and William, when she claims in real life Diana talks to her. Well, see, I think Netflix is not going to have Diana's ghost talking to Meghan because they care about people watching the series, and they know if they did that, people would immediately turn their TVs off and never watch it again. All right, everybody, that's all the time that we've got for now. Again, though, I have to say thank you for such interesting discussions that I see in the comment section. And if you think my videos are helpful, please don't be afraid to like and share them with anybody else who would enjoy them. And please take just a second to subscribe to Kate Middleton and the Queen channel to support us more. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll be back to see you in the next videos.